Hi, everybody. Mark Burdig on Renda Media from Media Day at Cambria Heights High School. Time to talk some Highlanders football. And it's going to be brought to you by Rock Run Recreation, 140 miles of ATV trails located in northern Cambria and southern Clearfield counties. Rock Run trails provide spectacular views from atop the Allegheny Mountains. Four-wheelers, three-wheelers, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, off-highway vehicles are welcome. Log on to rockrunrecreation.com for a full list of all events. And by Luhu's Pizza and Pasta here in Patton, just a field goal away from where we stand doing this interview. Outstanding. If you've never had Luhu's, one of my favorite stops before the game, after the game, or anytime, it's Luhu's Pizza and Pasta. Coach, good to see you, Jared Lewis.
Yeah.
Hard to believe we do this interview. We're 3 weeks away from opening night as you begin your 15th season after leading one of the most successful runs in program history as of late, including back-to-back District 6 championships. Can we say three-peat or a little bit too early?
I'd say too early, yeah. I mean, obviously, these kids have a lot of experience. A lot of them played last year. A lot of them started maybe one way. They played a role on the team. And this year they're looking forward to their opportunity to take a bigger role, to really be the impact players. And you know what? We only have 5 seniors this year, but they're fantastic leaders, and they've led us throughout the offseason. And, they know what it takes to be successful. They've played on those teams, and they're holding, they're trying to hold this team to the same standard. And, really, like we did last year, we're really going to focus on one game at a time, and we have a tough one. A lot of people are picking United Valley to be the favorites, and we have them to open with. So that's been our main focus so far.
I know, as I said to somebody else, you can kind of admire what's been done in the past, but you can't really look in that rearview mirror too much anymore. You got to look through that front windshield. But I will say 13-1 school record for wins, 23-5 over the past couple of years. What's it meant to you, the staff, the school, to become and build this program into one of the elite in District 6?
Well, I think that it really starts with the players. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of support from the administration here, the families, the community has been great, and I think we're most proud to be successful, so that to represent the community of Cambria Heights and the school, and I think that as well as I've been fortunate to coach some really, really great players, but I've also been fortunate to coach with some really, really good coaches. So I think that we just had a good mix of when it all came together. And, these guys are no different. I think that I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about how hard they've been working. And I think that they are really looking forward to the challenge of, still being one of the top teams in this conference, in which we think is going to be a really, really tough conference this year, with a lot of returning starters from a lot of these teams, especially with our early part of our schedule being very, very, return-heavy, senior-dominated football teams.
8 starters you lose roughly on both sides of the ball. So what's been the approach, kind of reloading and maintaining the standard that you've established?
Well, I think that, as I said before, a lot of these guys have played a lot of football for us, but they may not have been, they didn't start both ways, or maybe they weren't even starters. They were, they were players that come in and provided depth. But I think when you look at it, in a normal year, we were very, very good last year. And most years, these guys would have been multiple year starters at maybe two or three positions. So I really give them a lot of credit for how hard they've worked and how they've stuck with the program. They're all program guys, have all been with us from the beginning. They all put their team first. And I think that, and I said this last year when you and I talked, our seniors coming this season were already good football players, but it was our underclassmen, I think, improvement, which really led to improvement of our team. And I think that these guys are a large reason of that. And they're really looking forward to their opportunity to shine.
Like other coaches, you take a lot of pride in the off season. What's that look like, from your group or for you, and what kind of buy-in have you had?
We've had outstanding numbers, from varsity to junior high, and a large part of that is the seniors we have here. Like I said, we have 5 of them, and they've been great leaders, and they've held us to, the standard. They know what it takes to be successful. The teams the last couple of years have kind of set that blueprint, and they're looking forward to making their own mark on this team, but also, they know what it takes to be successful, and they're making sure the entire team is along for that ride and have really put in the work, and I can't complain about that. They've really, really worked hard, and they've really put themselves in position to be successful to start the year. We're just hoping to stay healthy and take care of those small things that you have to take care of.
2 years ago, you win District A, Class A championship. Last year, you step up in class. You win a Double A championship. Not that was totally expected, because every year is a different year. this year was losing so many starters. How do you frame it yourself?
I think that, we go from, just looking forward to these guys and seeing what kind of team we're going to be. Like you said, every year you're a different team, even if you return a lot of the same players, even if you return the same nucleus. But I think these kids are looking forward to make their mark. And I think that we kind of go from the hunted to more of the, we're hunting a little bit. I think that teams had we had a pretty large bullseye on our chest last year, and we were okay with that. And I think this year we get to go be a little bit more the teams that's hunting. And I think that, people are, I just don't think that, we're going to be one of the favorites in the conference this year. I think that we're going to have to scratch and claw and show that, and I think these players are looking forward to that type of expectations.
We're going to bring in 3 players here very shortly, but anybody that maybe has surprised you in the offseason as you get ready for camp, and some names maybe you want to drop that might make their mark this year?
I really think, honestly, I don't want to say surprised, because I've seen how hard they've worked, and I've seen the way they've prepared the past few years. I think that Caden Ivory is going to be one that people are going to be really surprised with. He's a really good quarterback, and I mean, he follows Isaac, who probably is the winningest quarterback in our program's history. So I mean, Caden really bided his time. He did a great job. Carson Lobick, you saw him at the tail end of last year, really kind of come on the scene defensively. And I think Hayden Lamer, another guy that's here today, I mean, I really think he was kind of the main guy that kind of was the glue that held our offensive line together. He was the one missing piece, and he really performed great, and that's why I think our team was so good. But, just a couple other guys to keep an eye on. Jack Sherwood on offensive line is really good. Dawson Warner at linebacker has been a 2-year starter. We're expecting big things from him. James Holtz on the offensive line he'll be a 3-year starter now, and we're expecting big things from him. Bryce Lewis on the defensive side of the ball really come on at the end of the year. Nolan Clausen's a kid that to keep an eye on as well. Just with a ball in his hands, he can be scary. And those are guys that have played football for us, but they're going to all take larger roles this year.
And as you said, conference is going to be tough. There's going to be some really good football teams. Ed Dalton returns to the conference where he started many years ago, and I know River Valley has high hopes, and that's probably going to be one of the teams, like you said, United Valley and a couple others that every week's a battle.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we have, United Valley week 1 and we have River Valley week 2. So, we're going to have a pretty good idea of where we stand. And I think we have Marion Center week 3. So we're going to have a pretty good idea of where we stand after those 3 weeks. And those are some of the, teams that everybody's kind of picking to be the top. So it's definitely going to be a measuring stick. And I think our players know that right out of the gate, we have to be firing on all cylinders.
Coach, thanks for doing this. We're going to slide a couple of your guys in here, and we'll see you along the way, I'm sure.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do for us, Mark. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Appreciate it. Jared Lewis had the chance to attend their banquet last season. That was a lot of fun after such a successful year. And come on in a little closer here. Hayden, you're one of the guys they're going to count on to open up some holes again this year, right? Hayden Lamer, and also to my left we have Caden Ivory, who will take over for the aforementioned Isaac Weiland at quarterback, and also Carson Lobick. We called his number a lot on a couple of interceptions and some electrifying plays last year. But we're going to start with in the trenches, because these guys, they can't get it done without you, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Talk about your role as an offensive lineman, also competing for a defensive end position as camp opens up. How do you feel the line's going to be? Because in all seriousness, it does start up front.
I'm thinking we're going to be really good this year. We're big, we're strong, and we're going to be aggressive in the trenches to get what needs done.
Hayden, has there been any talk? No question, you lost a lot of firepower from last year's team. Those guys were together and had back-to-back championships. But do you feel maybe there's a sentiment that maybe people are taking Cambria Heights too lightly this year, and is that a motivator at all?
Yes, it is a motivator, because because we lost 2-3 of our guys on the line doesn't mean we're not going to be good anymore. We're really confident with the guys that are filling their holes.
Talk about some of the guys that are around you on the line, and who's the communicator up front?
The communicator right now is probably Jack Sherwood. He's at left guard, and beside him would be James Holtz at left tackle.